welcome to Katrina's Creations. This is episode 251. It has been an absolutely crazy, ridiculous week last week, and it's getting even crazier this coming week. So I will tell you a little bit about it, but if you want to know the full story and the whole thing and all the craziness, make sure you tune into Thursday's video, which is going to be one of my weight loss surgery videos. Yeah, because it's all kind of tied in together with that. So yeah, that will be Thursday's video. But before we get started, let me clarify one of the first crazy things that happened this week. My mother called me up. Well, no, I called her 9 o'clock at night, and she says, "What's this about you and Dave getting married on September 11th? And I went, "What are you talking about?" And she says, "It's over on Facebook. It says that you got married on September 11th. And even your daughter said that she's glad that Dad made an honest woman of you after all of these years." And I'm like, "What in the world?" And Mom says, "And lots of people are congratulating you and Dave on getting married." I went, "Oh, something's got to be wrong." And my first thought is somebody's hacked my Facebook account. I go over and I look at it, and sure enough, there is like 50 some people have congratulated Dave and I on being married, on getting married. Just one problem with that. Dave and I have been married almost 40 years now. We'll have our 40th anniversary in February. Apparently what I did, yes, this is Katrina in her crazy life and not thinking straight. I decided it was time to update my Facebook page a little bit, and when I did, I noticed that the status didn't have anything filled out, and one of the options was married. So I clicked married because I'm married. I had no idea it was going to post that we were getting married on September 11th, which is when I went and did the update. So anyway, just for any of you that were a little confused, it was me that was confused when I did the updates, apparently. But yeah, rest assured, Dave and I have been married for 39, going on 40 years. Yes, our children and grandchildren would be very disappointed in us if they found out we were not married and we had all these kids and grandchildren. So anyway, yes, that was Katrina's blooper. But if you would like to celebrate our wedding, please feel free to send cash or presents. We won't turn them down. So let's get started. I'm only kidding about that. But anyway, let's get started on what I have as a finished objects this week. And I do have more than one. First thing I have is not knitting or crochet related, but it's adorable. Look at this cute little pumpkin. I'll hold this up so you can see the top. Yes, no sewing needed. I went to a ladies' fellowship at church the other night, and they showed us how to make these. This was our craft for the evening. It's also very useful because there's toilet paper in here. Yes. So Wednesday's video this week is going to be a tutorial on how to make this. It's like super quick. It takes all of like 5 minutes, but it's really cute. So stay tuned on Wednesday and I'll show you how to do that. So my other finished objects, you know, I am getting ready for not one but 2 craft fairs. One craft fair I'm doing with Kim, and the other craft fair I'm going to my supervisor's house. She has an open house and does a craft show in her house, and she invited me to participate. So I have been making dishcloths and cowls like crazy lately to try to sell at these craft fairs, in between getting ready for weight loss surgery and all the other crazy things that you'll find out about on Thursday that have been going on. So here's my first one, and I like this one. This is leftover. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but there's sparkles in this. There, you can maybe see some of the sparklies. So it's a glamour dishcloth. Glamour. Yeah. So, yeah, it's sparkly. I love the colors in it. This was actually part of the yarn that I made the crocheted wrap, the design that I had for the, well, it's a crocheted wrap, which is why it's called fade wrap, because the colors faded from one color to another. So anyway, this was one of the leftover yarns from that. So this is 100% cotton, and this is a double moss stitch, and it is knitted. So I have that. And then I've been doing trios of dishcloths. So I have like two, they're going to be bundled together. It's like 2 crocheted and 1 knitted. So here are the 2 crocheted green ones. And this is just a modified shell stitch. And this is a C2C. And then the third one that I'm working on is a work in progress, but I'll show it to you now since it kind of goes with it. And that is the knitted one. It's another one going to be in that double moss stitch like the sparkly one I showed you, but I'm also incorporating this yarn into it, which is also sparkly, as you can see. This yarn was also part of that crocheted wrap. So I'm going to do some stripes of this, and it has like little touches of green in it that are the exact same color green as in here. So I figured it would just dress it up a little bit because this is such a bland dark color that I thought maybe that would just kind of make it a little livelier. So that is one set of dishcloths. And then I had some leftovers, not enough to make 3 of, so I have some that I'm making as individual dishcloths. And this one is another C2C. And this one is another shell stitch. So that's the dishcloths. Then I made another, let me pull the, it's got my hair on it because apparently I think I'm going bald, I don't know. But here is another crocheted cowl. Oops, it's tipped over here. So here is another crocheted cowl with the buttons on it. This one's a little bit smaller than the other one because the other one, when I put it on, it came down my neck a little further, where this will be more like snug up around the neck. And the buttons on it kind of look like compasses. There, you can see the buttons on it. So then my last project, if you remember that crazy textured yarn that I was talking about last week that I didn't like, it's Bernat Baby Bundle, I think. It's weird textured. Anyway, to try to knit with it does not work. It's just, every time it changes textures, you end up with a gap. So I thought, let me just play with it. I had a little bit left, and I was able to make, by crocheting, I made a giant granny square. Now you may be going, what in the world are you doing with this? Doggy mat. I'm thinking, you know, it'll fit on the floor perfect for a little dog. We'll see. I figure I have nothing to lose. I'll put it up for sale with a little stuffed dog on it, and so somebody can get the idea of what you could use this for, and we'll go from there. If not, then my dog has a doggy mat. And if I don't sell these dishcloths, guess what all my family's getting for Christmas this year? Yes, lots of dishcloths. So then my last project is the begonia swirl shawl that almost ended up totally trashed today, or today actually, yes. Dave and I walked in from, we went out to dinner because it was Dave's birthday on the 14th and we were just getting around to going out to dinner. And we walk in the door and the dog has this on the floor, it's caught around her legs, and she's dragging it across the living room while her tail's waggling, and, you know, like strands of yarn are trailing behind her, and I'm going, you know, it's fingering weight, and I'm up to 669 stitches going all the way across. I have 2 rows to go yet, so I will finish that this week. Anyway, this is the begonia swirl. The shawl was rescued, thank goodness. What she had tangled around her was not the shawl itself. It turned out once we got it all unwound from her, it was actually the yarn that was in the skein, not something snagged on the shawl. So thank goodness. I would have had heart failure. We don't need to add any more excitement into my life right now. So yes, I have been working on the lace edging. So this is the top. It has like a tab top to it, and then it has these swirls. This is a free pattern. It is by Carfield Ma, and it's in quite a few different languages, and it is not a deep shawl. It's almost more like a shawlette, but it's very, very wide, and it kind of has a curl to it. And each of these swirls that you can see here, like these swirls here, get wider as the shawl goes on, and then it finishes with lace. So I'm going to hold it, actually you're looking at it upside down, but that's the only way I can really show it well, where I can pull the stitches apart. So here's what it looks like, and you can see this section here and here forms leaves. Now remember, you're looking at it upside down. So there's like 22 different sections like this. And it looks intimidating, but it really isn't, because it's, you do one section, you just repeat it like 22 times. So yeah, I've got 2 rows to go, and then the pattern did not call for beading, but I actually have some beads that will match this, so I'm putting beads on it. So that will be the last, next to the last row. The last row is the bind off, so I will be putting the beads in, like right in there. So yeah, so thankfully this was saved from the puppy. I call her a puppy, she's 11 years old, but anyway, she thinks she's like the child that we, you know, all our other kids are all grown and out of the house. In fact, I have 2 38-year-olds as of today. My kids are 10.5 months apart, so for 6 weeks of the year they're the same age, and today is my son's birthday, so I'm filming this on Thursday the 16th. So yeah, as of today I have 2 38-year-olds. I don't know how that happened, how I got that old. I don't feel that old. Well, my body tells me I'm that old. My mind definitely doesn't act that old. So that is what I have been working on this week. What have you all been working on? Now, I had some exciting news this week. In between all of the craziness, I had like light at the end of the tunnel. There is a podcaster that I watch called the Knitting Expat podcast, and I have watched her for, oh, I don't know, years. Not since the beginning that she started doing it, but not too far into when she was doing her podcasts. Anyway, she is a knitwear designer. She actually has taught at Vogue Knitting up in New York, and she's been at Rhinebeck before. She has a lot of patterns out there, and yeah, she's very prolific with her pattern designs, and they're beautiful. And I've never got around to knitting any of her patterns before. And so she designed a new shawl pattern. I was watching it the other day, and she showed this shawl, and I fell in love with it when I saw it. And so she was looking for test knitters. So I thought, well, I'll apply. You know, the chances of me being picked out of the thousands are pretty slim. I mean, she has over 29,000 viewers or subscribers. So I was like, well, I'll offer, you know, but I can't lose on it. So she picked she picked me. Yeah, I was excited. So, I mean, I'm not the only one. There's other ones that are knitting this pattern as well, but I feel really honored because I did not expect that. And so it's a nice little pick-me-up right now with everything crazy going on in my life. So anyway, it is called the Snuggly Wuggly Shawl, and I'm going to show it to you here. Now, I don't know how well it's going to show up, but it reminds me a lot of a Faroese shawl because it has a center panel that runs right down through the center here that is like cabled. And if you remember me talking about Faroese shawls, how they really drape well around your shoulders, and they have that center panel, that's very similar shape to what this shawl is. And it's also marled, so you're holding two strands of yarn together, and then you're changing in and out of those colors as you go. So it kind of gives you this fading effect from one down to the other. So I'm going to show you the colors I'm going to be making it out of. And here's the funny thing. The colors I chose to make this from are very similar to the colors. She said she's going to be knitting a second one. Mine are very similar colors to the one she chose. Totally by accident, but you need 2 skeins of 100-gram yarn for each in a specific weight. So I was looking through, and it's like I have a lot of single skeins, but when it came to double skeins, I had to do a little searching. So here we go. I have this yarn first, and I do not remember what this is. It is, I believe, a Knit Crate yarn. I'm pretty sure this was from Knit Crate. There was a very similar one to this color. In fact, I've got it sitting right, where do I have it? Right down here, actually. It's very similar, but it's more speckled. This is more like little strips. I don't remember where I got this from. I think it's Knit Crate. I could be totally wrong. I'm not sure. I don't have the label anymore because I put it together. It was going to be a sweater at one point. It was going to be the yoke to the sweater. If you remember my colorwork sweater last winter I was making, and I started it with this yarn, and then it wasn't going to work. Yeah, that's what this is. I'll have to go back in some old videos and see if I can track down what this is. But anyway, I'm using this, and it's got like teals and purple, because you know those are my colors. And then I've got some teal yarn to go with it. And then I also have some purple to go with it. And the purple and the teal yarn that I have are from Hobium. These are Hobium, they're Turkish yarns. And so that's what the 3 are going to look like together. You can see more of the purple. There you go. Like that. So I am very excited to get started on this. And yeah, so Mina, if you happen to be watching this, thank you so much for allowing me to participate and be one of your test knitters. I'm really excited about it. If you want to check out her channel, because it is a lot of fun. In fact, right now I'm really enjoying it because she and her husband are remodeling their house. and I like watching remodeling things. So anyway, yeah, I'll put a link down below to her channel if you want to check it out, but it's the Knitting Expat podcast. Now, I've been reading a book. I've talked about it the last 2 weeks. I'm about halfway through, but it is a cozy crochet mystery, and it's called One for the Hooks. It's by Betty Hechtman. And it's one of the few cozy mysteries that are crochet related out there. There's lots of them that are knitting, and I read pretty much all of them that are out there. At least all the ones that I run across. But this is the only one that's crochet related, and it's one of my favorites because it's just over the top funny. So what is going on so far? If you want to check out the book, I do have a link in my Amazon affiliate link if you want to go over and check it out. Or you can check it at your library, something like that if you don't want to buy it. I get them from the library because I don't need to have a whole bunch of books around my house. So anyway, what's going on so far is there's a lady whose aunt has passed away, and she had tons of yarn. And so she asks the crochet group from the bookstore to go over and look through the yarn and see if they're interested in buying it for the bookstore, because the bookstore has a little yarn area where they sell knitting and crochet books, and they sell yarn. Well, they get there and they look through the yarn and realize that there's like one skein of this, one skein of that. There's no two skeins of anything. So they're debating whether to buy the yarn or not. And all of a sudden, a drone flies over the backyard, drops some stuff on the real estate agent, and the real estate agent dies in the backyard. So that's where it's set up at this point. Now, the characters in the story are fun because there's Molly Pink, who is the main character, who is a widow. And her son, his just grown son, and his girlfriend have just moved back into her house, and they're pretending it like it's their house so that they can impress his hopeful new boss. So she's like hiding from people. Every time they come to the house, she hides and pretends she doesn't live there. So there's that character going on. Then there's Adele, and Adele has started her own Instagram account and Snapchat and everything, and she's running around taking selfies and videoing everything constantly on her phone and trying to act like a reporter. So, and she like wears everything is crochet, like over the top crochet. So that's the one character. And then there's one who is a professor at a college. And then there's another one who is a real estate agent who's really jealous that the other real estate agent got the job. So she keeps trying to go in and get the job away from the lady who now has conveniently died, so that now she's trying to get the business for the house. So yeah, it sounds a little crazy, but it's a fun read. And I would be done it, except I've been reading it while I'm cooking dinner, and I try to avoid doing that. Cooking, that is. But yeah, so anyway, that's when I read it, is when I'm cooking dinner. So now it's acquisitions. I did have, if you watched my video on Wednesday, you'll see that Katrina's mind is failing at a rapid rate, apparently, because I got from Knit Crate back in June. I couldn't remember what month it was when I did the video. I kept thinking I had gotten this in July or August, but no, this was in June, and I got this yarn that is actually a deep eggplant purple. It might show up gray in the video. It's a definite deep eggplant purple. Then Knit Crate ran a really good sale, and I decided to buy some yarn since it was only $6 a skein by the time all the discounts came in. Did I remember that I bought this color? Oh no. What color did Katrina buy? Yarn just fell off the wall. Anyway, yes, I bought this. Rust color. Of course. Rust and purple go together so lovely. Yeah, it's not going to work. Anyway, and this is too dark of a purple to use with this. It's got it's definitely just too dark. So yeah, I ended up buying rust color yarn instead. So if you want to check out that video and see how forgetful Katrina apparently is, check out the link right here. That'll take you to it. And if you tune in, like I said, on Thursday, you will find out I do have an excuse for my forgetfulness lately. Yeah, we're working on that. I'll explain it to you. Like I said, check out Thursday's video. It'll be interesting. So and more yarn just fell on the ground. So yeah, I'm dropping yarn all over the place today. So now it's time for, now in our Come and Get It section, it's going to be pretty short because Lion Brand's sale is ending the 17th. Okay, so it ended Friday. I'm filming this Thursday night. It ended yesterday. They're starting a new sale today, which is Saturday the 18th. But since I'm filming this on Thursday, I don't know what their next sale is going to be. They're doing a sale throughout each week throughout September. So be watching today. If you haven't already seen it, I will put up a short little video just announcing whatever the sale is that Lion Brand is having that is running for this week. So that's what I've got for Lion Brand. Now Annie's, they are not running a sale that I know of as of the time of filming, but they do have their signature fall collection. I got their magazine that came in, or their catalog that came in earlier this week. So they have some really pretty fall patterns, and they have them in knit and crochet. I think, is this knit? No, that's crochet. I think both of them are crochet on the cover. Yeah, they do have some knit and some crochet patterns in their fall line. The ones I'm seeing for the most part are crochet, but there's one here that's really gorgeous. There's a bedspread here. This one here is really super pretty. So, and they have some moccasins. I mean, they have all kinds of fun stuff in here. Yeah, it seems like there is a lot of crochet. So if you are a crocheter, they even have some filet crochet in here. So yeah, if you are a crocheter, but like I said, you can check out, it even says on the cover, it says crochet for you and your home. How about that? But they do have knitting patterns too, because I've bought one of my favorite patterns is the Chamisol Tee. I bought that and it was the spring, it was a signature spring collection. So yeah, the link is down below if you want to go over and check out their site and look at their fall collection, what their patterns are that they have. And then Knit Picks is still running their Kindred yarn. You can buy 4 skeins and you get the 5th one for free. So that is running, I'm not sure till when, but it's running at this point that I'm filming it. So yeah, those are the 2 sales that I know that are going on this week. And other videos, don't forget to tune in on Wednesday so you can learn how to make a pumpkin without any sewing or anything. No glue, nothing. And so that is Wednesday's video, and then Thursday is my bariatric journey, talking about my weight loss. And be prepared for some laughs because there's some funny stuff in there, and I'll tell you the full craziness of what is going on right now with me. So yes, that's it for this week. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you a couple times more this week. So thanks again. Bye everybody.